Today we're going to install the Sitemapxml mod. This particular mod can be extremely handy in that it is used by the search engines to help to hurry up the indexing of a site. It's a relatively simple mod to install, and we're going to install the version that is for 1.5. This is a 1.5 cart that we are installing in. The first thing that you do always with a mod is open up the notepad text file. Hey, it's really hard to read that way, so we're going to do something a little different with this one. Anytime you run into that kind of thing, you just right click on it and you want to open it with something like WordPad, or the other option there was Notepad++. As it says, it generates a sitemap as it says here. It's for versions 1.389 and 1.5, effective files, non-effects database. Yes, it does put some new stuff into the database, and I can explain why. And then it tells you about the features of it. Install, back up your database and store, normal. Unzip the package to the local drive, which I already have done. It says to rename your admin folder in the sitemap folder to match the name of your admin folder, and we don't ever do that when we're working with other carts. So upload the files. So we will go back over here and look at the files we've got. Here is your admin, and here is the admin here. Sitemapxml obviously is a brand new file. That's what he's saying, is there are no overrides in this at all. So we just put all of those up there. And yes, I don't have my sound muted. Okay. Now, there's a folder sitemap that goes into your root folder. And guess what? There's nothing in it. So, sitemap that goes into your thing here. There's a Sitemapxml file that goes here. And then includes, we're just going to check to make sure. And this is one way that you learn how to be sure with this kind of stuff. Sitemapxml, it is obviously named differently. There's not going to be an override for it. We don't want the Russian up either, so let's go ahead and do languages, English, languages, English. Now he's got it put just into the regular thing here. Let's go ahead and put it into the override folder. That way it makes it a little bit easier on us to find out, to remember that it's there when we go looking later for something. Okay, so classes, we know we're okay with. Modules, pages, oh look at that, so it's a whole new page for sitemap, so we can just upload the modules to modules here. Templates, it says to put it in the template default. There again, I would prefer that you didn't. I'd prefer that you put it into the folder here, so that we will be able to, if we have to, pull out the override folders and we'd have it in there. Hopefully they won't get us into any trouble. Okay, so then we want to go to, this is the site here. We want to get into his admin. And while that's working, it does say set permissions on the directory sitemap to 777. We don't have to do that on my server. On a lot of servers you do, but it's becoming more and more frequent that you don't have to change permissions, that 755 is going to be okay. If you do have to change permissions, then go up here to the sitemap folder. Whoops, went too far up. Here is the sitemap folder. You would right click. In this particular one, it's properties, and Shane says from 755 to 777. It's called properties or permissions, depending on what you're looking at. Okay, so here is Arco Coffee. Now, the next thing it says to do, if you're running Zen Cart 1.5, run the SQL file. This is to make sure, this is what makes the admin settings show up in 1.5. 1.5 has some different types of admin stuff, so we have to put some stuff into the database for it. I know what's in the file, I know it's totally innocuous, and I know it's going to be fine. So upload. Okay, so that means that now we have the Sitemapxml showing here, which wasn't showing before, and that's all there is. So we go here, Sitemapxml, update the SQL, and here we go. Now, I'm not going to finish this out in this particular on this particular site. This site is, we are working to upgrade his site to 1.5, and this is one of the ones that he wanted in 1.5. So we're not going to go ahead and finish this out and actually create the XML files, but what you normally do is force bill and ping at the same time. Well, I guess we could force bill because it's not pinging, so let's do this. Send. So it's working on creating the sitemaps now. And we're going to go over here, and I assume it's going to be inside the sitemap folder. Refresh. They used to put them up here. They still are. I don't know what the sitemap folder is for. Then as it creates them, it's putting these into here. If we were to go ahead and, let's see, done. It says done, so it's finished. Okay. If we were to go ahead and do the ping search engine, then it would literally send messages out to search engines and say, here's our sitemap, come read it. And we don't want that to happen yet because this is not a live site. That's all there is to it. It's very straightforward, as most mods are. The main thing to remember when you're doing this is to make sure that the files you have are not going to override the files that are over here. In this situation, because of what he said in the Word doc, up here at the very top of here, affected files, none. In other words, there are no overrides. There's a lot of information obviously in here about stuff. There doesn't seem to be any kind of, okay, ping, it says pinging Google, Ask.com, and Microsoft, which is Bing nowadays. You can also do something in Google Webmaster, so it gives you some more information in there. Admin configuration. Okay, you know what? That's what I didn't see. There it is. There is some configuration fit settings there. Sitemap directory. I I suspect that if we had changed this, come on, yeah, I'm going to change this to sitemap, which is the directory that came with it, so that the next time the files are created, they're going to be created in yes to all. They're going to be created inside that folder they gave us, the folder, and compress them. I don't know. Check duplicates. Oh, misspelling, love it. Homepage order, and there's all sorts of things, and you can obviously change settings. Frequently, default settings on something like this is what you want. And that's the end of this one.